Karen stole my land to build rentals when I found out. She had the nerve to sue me first. The sun hung low over Willow Creek, casting long shadows across the rolling fields that had been in Emma's family for generations. The land wasn't just dirt and grass, it was her father's sweat, her grandmother's stories, and the promise of a quiet life. Emma, a soft-spoken woman in her 30s, had planned to build a small community garden there, a place for kids to learn and neighbors to gather. But that dream shattered the day she saw bulldozers tearing into her soil. Karen, the town's self-proclaimed real estate queen, had always been a thorn in Willow Creekside. With her sharp suits and sharper tongue, she'd swoop into quiet neighborhoods, flipping properties for profit while leaving locals priced out. Emma never thought Karen would target her land. But there it was, her family's 10-acre plot, now crawling with construction crews building sleek rental units. Worse, Karen had forged documents claiming she'd bought the land legally. When Emma confronted her, Karen didn't flinch. She smirked, filed a lawsuit against Emma for trespassing, and dared her to fight back. The town buzzed with whispers. Emma's blood boiled, but she wasn't alone. Her neighbor, Tom, a grizzled farmer who'd known her father, offered to testify. He'd seen Karen's shady deals before, how she'd pressured his late brother into selling his farm for pennies. Tom's quiet support gave Emma hope, but the stakes were high. Karen's lawsuit demanded Emma pay damages for disrupting her project, and legal fees were draining Emma's savings. The land, her legacy, was slipping away. The courtroom was a pressure cooker. Karen sat poised, her lawyer spinning a tale of Emma as a jealous saboteur. Emma's hands shook as she presented her evidence. Old deeds, family photos, even a letter from her father entrusting the land to her. The judge's face was unreadable. Tom took the stand, his voice steady but heavy. He recounted Karen's history of bullying landowners, but Karen's lawyer twisted his words, painting him as a bitter old man. Emma felt the walls closing in. The trial wasn't just about land, it was about truth, justice, and who got to write the story. Then came the twist. During a recess, a stranger slipped into the courtroom. Sarah, a young paralegal who'd once worked for Karen's firm. She'd left after witnessing Karen falsify documents for another deal. Sarah's conscience had gnawed at her ever since, and when she heard about Emma's case, she couldn't stay silent. With trembling hands, she handed Emma's lawyer a USB drive containing emails proving Karen's fraud. The courtroom fell silent as the evidence was presented. Karen's smug facade cracked, her eyes darting to the exit. The judge called for a recess to review the new information, and Emma felt a flicker of hope for the first time in months. But victory was bittersweet. The judge ruled in Emma's favor, declaring the land hers and ordering Karen to halt construction. Yet the damage was done. The field was scarred, the soil churned into mud, and the community garden dream felt like a distant memory. Karen faced no real consequences. Her wealth cushioned her fall, and she left town to prey on another community. Emma stood on her reclaimed land, staring at the half-built rentals, her heart heavy. Tom placed a hand on her shoulder, saying, "You fought for what's right, kid. That's more than most do." But the words couldn't erase the ache. Sarah's unexpected courage had turned the tide, but it also reminded Emma how fragile justice was. One voice, one choice could shift everything or nothing. The town rallied around Emma, offering to help rebuild, but the scars of Karen's greed lingered. Emma wondered if she'd ever see her land as home again. She planted a single flower in the ruined soil, a quiet act of defiance, but the future felt uncertain. The battle had exposed the raw truth about Willow Creek. Greed could tear apart even the tightest communities, and justice often came at a cost. Emma's fight wasn't just her, it was a mirror for every neighbor who'd ever felt powerless against someone like Karen. As she walked away from the field, the wind carried the faint scent of wildflowers, a reminder of what could have been. What do you think? Was Emma's fight worth the cost, or should she have let the land go to avoid the pain? Share your thoughts on justice and community conflict.